Britain was part of the continent of Eurasia until the end of the last ice age, 6000 BC. It became an island when the lower land under the present-day English Channel was flooded. The early inhabitants of Britain were small groups of hunters, gatherers, and fishermen. About 3000 to 2000 BC, tribes of dark-haired people called Iberians began to arrive. After 700 BC, new invaders appeared in Britain. They were called Celts. The Celtic conquerors were technically more advanced than the Iberians. They were rural farming, hunting, and herding tribes ruled by local chieftains. 2 centuries later, a second wave of Celts arrived. They didn't appear until the Iron Age. The centers of Celtic civilization lay in the south and southeast of the island. In 43 AD, the Emperor Claudius made a successful conquest of Britain as far as the river Severn and Trent. The Romans began to organize Britain as a province, which they called Britannia. A number of towns grew up during the Roman occupation. Roman rule was resisted by some Celtic leaders. The Romans introduced their customs, language, agriculture, and eventually in the 4th century Christianity. However, when the Romans withdrew after 410 AD, few permanent effects of their rule remained. The next invasion of Britain was made by the Germanic tribes of Saxon Anjous and Jutes, who came from what are now North Germany and Denmark. By 600, the southeastern part of Britain was completely occupied by the invaders and was named Angleland. Within the next 100 years, all the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms were converted to the Christian faith. At the turn of the 8th century, another wave of Scandinavian invaders arrived in Britain. First, these Vikings or Northmen invaded the Shetland and Faroe Islands. Later, they reached the coast of England, Scotland, and Ireland. They plundered and burned churches and monasteries. In the 9th century, they began to colonize East Anglia, Northumbria, and the northeast of Mercia. Alfred the Great, King of Wessex, was the only Anglo-Saxon leader who successfully resisted this expansion. The new King of England, Edward the Confessor, was Anglo-Saxon. He ruled wisely until his death in 1066. Since that time, England has not been invaded.